Namaste, you're on the Nation at 5. I'm Anand Narsiman coming to you live from the newsroom here at CNN News 18, and we begin with big news coming in around the Ram Mandir on Ram Lala Virajman at Ram Janbhoomi in Ayodhya. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a huge terror threat that's been now cited by the intel agencies. At this point, we are given to understand, and this is courtesy our investigations editor Manoj Gupta. This is a CNN News 18 exclusive that we'll start straight with, that Pak-based terror groups Jaish-e-Mohammed and Lashkar-e-Taiba are planning a major attack at the Ram Mandir in Ayodhya on the Ram Janbhoomi. Now, sources are saying that they want to disrupt the construction and they want to attack this Ram Mandir before it is completed, before the completion which is scheduled for December 2023 or Jan 2024, if you were to go by what the Union Home Minister Amit Shah said just the other day. But they want to conduct a suicide attack or a terrorist attack. Arms, ammunition and even the Fidain or the suicide terrorists will be smuggled, moved in via Nepal into Uttar Pradesh towards Ayodhya. And there is a certain desperation to try and effect this at the earliest. Now, there are other aspects to this, ladies and gentlemen. The Jammu and Kashmir narrative is slipping from the Pak hands. Their countries in doldrums is one aspect, but the other part is that the Pak military establishment is not able to control that narrative anymore. And with the security grid tightening, with their tunnels caught, with their drones being shot down, with their effort to try and bring in narco-terror also being put paid, they are now focusing their attention towards all of North India, and once again, they are trying to target the Ram Janbhoomi in Uttar Pradesh, in Ayodhya. Post the judgment of the Honorable Supreme Court, and from the time the path was paved by the top court of our country for a construction of a Bhavya Ram Mandir, repeatedly there have been terror threats which have been thwarted. In fact, terror threats were there even before the judgment, even around the time when there was a temporary tent at that time, and around 2014 election results, there were threats. Multiple times these threats have been thwarted, but now it seems to be an act of desperation, and there could be multiple attempts made to try and effect damage to the temple and derail the construction and completion of the Ram Mandir in Ayodhya, where Ram Lala is Virajman. Mind you, the Pran Pratishtha of Ram Lala Virajman has actually happened with the hands of Yogi Adityanath. It has been done, and this happened earlier this year. The Bhumi Pujan happened on the 5th of August 2020. Thereafter, construction has been on in full swing. But these are the details that we are getting courtesy of investigations editor Manoj Gupta. Pathikrit Pine now joins us. Pathikrit, thank you for your time. More importantly, the cause for worry is that it's a porous border with Nepal. It's just about 6 to 7 hours from Nepal border towards Ayodhya.
Anand, you are absolutely right. And once again, the issue of the open border between India and Nepal becomes a contentious issue. And we have to be very careful and watchful and see whether something can be done to fence that border. But, this anticipation about something being possibly done over Ram Temple was always there. In 2005, there was a Lashkar attack. And I think based on those anticipations, there has been certain developments which have happened in that place. For example, number one, the Special Task Force of UP Police has set up a special base in Ayodhya with state-of-the-art infrastructure and weapon systems. Uttar Pradesh Special Security Force, which was formed in 2020 with 5 battalions on the line of CISF. One of the battalions is based in Ayodhya, specifically meant perhaps for protection of the perimeter of that area. And at the same time, there has been major expansion of ATS. But I think you are very right on one specific issue, that the possibility of the attack is more profound during the construction phase rather than after the completion, because they would try to derail that process. During the construction process, a lot of people come in, laborers come in, a lot of material are coming in, a lot of movements of trucks are happening, and there is a strong requirement of security. I'm sure the security agencies are taking care of it. But I think Pakistan also is trying to desperately find out a trigger so that there is a major retaliation by India. And that in turn, Pakistan's deep state is hoping will galvanize that completely, divided country into one, which is Pakistan. Because as it stands today, Pakistan is on the verge of implosion, with Tehrik-e-Taliban having successfully, literally delineated the Swat Valley and the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa region and Balochistan from Sindh and Pakistan. As things stand today in Pakistan, in the next 1 decade, only perhaps Punjab and Sindh will remain in Pakistan. So there is a possibility they'll try to trigger, and I think the government of India is aware of this. That's why they will try to thwart every kind of possible attacks, not necessarily only a physical attack. It can be a drone attack. We have seen that how the dimensions of terrorism have been altering in the recent half a decade. So I'm sure a lot of measures have been taken, and you see the alacrity with which Uttar Pradesh Special Security Force was formed on the line of CISF. One battalion is being based in Ayodhya specifically for this purpose. The ATS is there, STF is there, and I'm sure the paramilitary forces over a period of time will also be deployed to make sure that no untoward incident happens. Because if that happens, the furor would be such in this country that the government would have little option but to retaliate. Perhaps the deep state of Pakistan and some other countries desperately want that to happen.
This is a nation that in desperation has attacked some of our beacons in our society. The parliament in 2001, Mumbai, the financial capital, the Taj there, and also the their whereabouts at Gateway of India and that entire region in 2008. So is this also a sign of desperation that somewhere Pakistan wants to create a certain narrative and trying to win back this narrative? That's from the security point, the narrative point of view. And the other aspect is that they want to create a certain social strife, communal strife in the country. And the political aspect of this is that the rise of the BJP happened with the Rath Yatra and the call for the Ram Mandir to be built on Ram Janmabhoomi. So is this to also perhaps a political agenda, underlying political agenda there? Because you've had recently Pakistan ministers trying to again raise the BJP, RSS, Hindutva forces. So is this attacking Hindutva while targeting the beacon of Hindutva, that is Ram Janmabhoomi, Ram Mandir?
Anand, you're absolutely right. I think the deep state of Pakistan also realizes the profundity of the impact of the Ram Mandir construction would have. So perhaps possibly the fortune of BJP in 2024 election. So desperately they will try to derail it. Secondly, the idea of Pakistan today is in shambles. Tehrik-e-Taliban has made sure that in Balochistan or in the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa region, especially in the Swat Valley, they don't consider Pakistan as it exists. They only think Pakistan as an extension of Punjab. So whether it is Gilgit-Baltistan or everywhere else, the idea of Pakistan today does not exist. What the deep state of Pakistan will try to do, as far as conspiring to do, that if they can force India to have perhaps a Balakot kind of a retaliation, that it would give the chance and opportunity to the army and the deep state to galvanize people again, to project, look, here is Pakistan, which has been attacked by a Hindu India. That is perhaps one of the possibilities. That's the reason they will try to do a desperate attack. There has been these attacks that they've been trying to do, but question is whether they can afford it. That's the big question, and how much India has to show resilience in terms of making sure that they don't retaliate is another issue. I think not retaliating will be very challenging, and that's why thwarting it is more important than making sure that you retaliate. So the security of this area becomes very critical. As you also rightly mentioned, the porous Nepal border, open border, is once again posing a challenge. And that's why I think I urge the government of India to reconsider the open border and have a fencing over there. Because even if you put in a lot of armed forces personnel, border personnel of SSB, guarding a completely open border where there is no restriction of movement becomes very challenging, and that challenge today might become another problem for India before 2024 elections.
Now, but this is the irony is that they are trying to send Fidain, arms, ammunition, drugs into Bharat time and again, and they are persistent on it. But their own nation, like you said, is hurtling towards balkanization. Out of the 4 provinces, they're almost being ripped off 2, and the other 2 are also in flux. That's the reality with Pakistan at this point. And look, the ground reality is there. Let's go to that. This is what is actually happening in Pakistan. A nation that is obsessed with something that doesn't belong to them. They're coveting that, and they're just obsessed with one narrative. It's fighting for flour on the streets. Aate ke liye lad rahe hain log. For 10 kilograms of atta, the fight that is happening is an economic crisis in Pakistan that's brewing. Cash-strapped nation is fighting over ration. That's what's happening. Locals in many parts of the country, they have no access to atta. Not so long ago, 2 years ago, there was a fight over roti naan. The Prime Minister at that time, Imran Khan, had to step in to try and regulate the price of roti, naan and milk. Now we are seeing fight for atta. This is the fight that's happening. Let's go full visuals on the on what we are seeing on that, ladies and gentlemen. This is what it is. As much as 50% the price of wheat has skyrocketed. In certain places, atta is at 2,100 rupees per kilogram. That's the current situation that we are getting. The amounts are startling. Look at how they are fighting, and they are fighting over a sack of flour, and then they are fighting with each other. Pathikrit, this is the state of affairs there. The state of affairs in Pakistan is खाने के लाले पड़ रहे हैं, पानी नहीं है, बिजली नहीं है, nothing. The whole nation is in crisis.
Anand,
And they are peddling drugs, they are peddling fidain, they are peddling arms into India. That's their obsession.
Anand, this is the outcome of a situation where instead of building the nation, their focus have always been to use that land of Pakistan to conspire against other countries. The outcome is this. Today, Pakistan is having an implosion over inflation. Inflation is leading to implosion of the country, along with all kinds of atrocities they have done. Remember, what they have tried to do in Kashmir was almost akin to what they have done in Balochistan. Therefore, the Baloch people are, violently protesting. There are protests in South Waziristan. There is protest in Gilgit-Baltistan region, where under the Khalsa Sarkar law, they are going for land grabbing. There is a fear in, Gilgit-Baltistan region that, like the Shaksgam Valley, they might give away Gilgit-Baltistan to the Chinese altogether. So Pakistan literally today does not exist, because whatever money they get, it gets siphoned off externally, and people continue to suffer. They have suffered so much that today, when India is talking about G20 presidency, they are fighting for.
Now, have a glass of water, Pathikrit. But we'll just go back to these visuals and let's just play out this entire sequence with the ambient sound, and just look at how they are fighting over a sack of rice, ladies and gentlemen, sack of flour. आटे के लिए लड़ाई चल रही है अभी पाकिस्तान में. This is the story on ground. The common people don't even have food. There's a hand-to-mouth existence is also under threat, and their elite are busy taking private jets for short distances for meetings. Their ministers. That's the Lala land they're living in. This is a Nero moment in Pakistan that we can witness. And if this in areas like Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, etc., the prices of flour have reached about 2,100 rupees per kilogram. That's Pakistani rupees per kilo. That's the kind of costs. And dal, basic ration has become so far beyond reach the common person in certain regions. Now there is more news coming through. Into day 12, ladies and gentlemen. Day 12 in Gilgit-Baltistan and Pak-occupied Jammu and Kashmir region. Look at the protests. So from these pictures to more dramatic pictures, let's move on, where the agitation against land grab, illegal taxes, high power prices in Gilgit-Baltistan